If you're watching this video, you're probably in pretty serious pain for your Haglunds deformity. My whole goal is to get you out of pain and get you back on the road. I welcome any emails or questions that you may have. Please stop the criticism though. I am a highly successful runner in the Masters divisions. I'm going to the Pan Am Games as we speak. This afternoon, I'll start my trip and I'm able to run a mile in the 7-minute range, faster on a good day, and love the 5K on the track. But I have to be out of pain. So the first thing you have to realize is we have to get you out of pain. I'm going to try to put all of my Haglunds deformity videos into one video and see if I can answer most of your questions. The number one question is, what kind of shoe can I run in? How do I get out of pain being able to run? So currently, and I'll show you why, and I have all these videos to talk about this if you want to look at older videos, I'm currently running in the Saucony Endorphin 3 with the carbon plate in it on a daily basis. So people can criticize me, you can do what you want, I don't care. I'm running in this because it gives me enough cushion and enough bounce that makes me really happy. I can get this shoe to go about 150 to 200 miles as my daily trainer. As I always say, with the Haglunds deformity, which is the bump in the back of your heel, which causes your Achilles tendon to hurt, is that the back of the shoe has to be non-stiff. It has to be able to fold around and do all that kind of stuff so that you don't have an issue. If you pronate or supinate to an extreme, so they have you in a Brooks kind of shoe, this could be an issue. But we'll talk about form later on in a different part of the video. I really am trying to put everything into one, and I know you have a million questions. But this is my daily trainer currently. They'll get you out of pain. You will need to work on your form on your own. The shoe won't fix your form. But this shoe keeps me on the roads on my 30 to 40 miles a week that I train. And I've trained really hard this past. So that's my daily trainer. I'm going to show you the insoles in a minute. Hold on. Now, when I'm racing, I use the Nike Next 3%. This is, again, the entire back is folding. Top runners running these all the time. These were the first big, what we call super shoe that came on the market. They've been slightly changing them. They weigh absolutely nothing. But Nike did something different in this last version, which is the seam up the back, which is, I mean, it's just not, it doesn't hurt you at all. This is so soft, it's ridiculous. It's not going to hurt your Haglunds, but it's now done as an offset, as you can see in this video. Really important if your Haglunds is straight up the back, this reduces the rub on your Achilles tendon. So this shoe gets better and better for us Haglunds people, probably due to Galen Rupp. Galen Rupp is the most famous runner you will know who has Haglunds. He ran with it for 10 years, had surgery about 3 or 4 years ago. And now he's older, not quite as good as he used to be, but my personal hero, because he has asthma and he has Haglunds, and well, I do too. So I just want you to realize that that's what I run in, the Saucony Endorphin. I'll put these names down below with links, and the Nike 3%. These shoes last about 100 miles, or for me, maybe 10, 12 races. Depends on the length of my race, if I'm doing 5Ks or 10Ks. But you can really tell when that, starts to wear out. As much as I don't want to be a heel striker, I still am a heel striker sometimes, and I can see it in the wear and tear in my shoe. So I work as a personal trainer most of the time. So back again, this is the big deal. I'm in regular clothes today because I want to talk about this. So I choose shoes for my personal training on the same issue. They're foldable in the back, no hard plastic cut. ASICS is a huge no-no. Brooks is a huge no-no. Most of the Hokas are because they have this hard situation back here. Nikes make shoes that you can fold them around. You can do all this stuff. This is what you need to do. You can argue with me till you're left and blue in the face. I don't care. I'm the one running with Haglunds. Maybe you're not. I don't know. Has to be smooth inside. No ridges to catch on you. A lot of shoes have an extra ridge kind of to hold your heel in place. We can't have that. Put that out of your mind. And of course, I need lots of padding underneath because I stand a lot as a personal trainer or as a running coach, and it has to be great. So these are, and I'll show you, there's all kinds of Nikes that do this. I'll show you other Nikes that have the same kind of issue. In the Invincibles are my favorites because they have this huge heel and I can stand on them. Again, they are smooth inside and this whole thing is just bendable. So that is what you look for in a shoe. So the Diodoras, The Sauconys that aren't the racing shoes, all of those don't work for me because they're stiff in the back. It's got to be loose. Now, talk to a woman. She was a businesswoman. She wears pumps. Sorry, ladies. You got to think about your daily shoe also, and not just the shoe that you're wearing to run in or exercise in. And I think people are hurting themselves in their daily shoes. So in my daily shoe, wow, look at that. I am actually wearing, it's an Ariat, and because I live in Texas and I tend to dress kind of Westerny. So they're really soft in the back and they're nothing, right? You can put an insole in them. I'll show you some insoles in a minute, and or not. And so for me, these are super comfortable because they don't hurt my Haglunds. So, you know, men or women, if you're wearing dress shoes and they're super tight on that heel around you and you feel the pinch, it's going to pinch your Achilles. It's going to pinch your Haglunds. It's going to cause inflammation, which guess what? Tosses you out of being able to run. So really, that's something I hadn't discussed before. Really think about that when you think about shoes. Ladies, sorry, I no longer own pumps. I do have some sandals that are just straps in the back, but the strap has to be high enough that it does not hit my Haglunds. And that's just the reality of it's more important for me to be out of pain and never have an issue there. So that's basically shoe-wise what I'm going to show you and talk about. Now let's go on to what am I going to do inside my shoes? I have a very high instep. So I always tell you that you have to be able to feel that insole, whatever insole you choose into your instep, whether it be high, medium, or a flat shoe. You still, even if you have a flat foot, have to have some kind of insole. So daily uses, I literally used them this morning on 3 personal training clients. And I'm going to show you, I have this, which is a Fulton, and it's cork. It adjusts to your foot. It's very soft. To me, the heel cup is the ultimate important part of this. The heel cup keeps my heel off the back of the shoe to stop the rub. It's all about stopping the rub with the Haglunds. So that's what I use in my daily shoes. Now, you could also, if you live in California or somewhere like that, that has a Road Runners, they make their own custom foot balance insoles. And if you have them, tell them you want the cup of the heel in the back and a custom fit. They do a heat machine. I don't live in California where I can get these made on a regular basis. So the ones you may order don't turn out as well. So I actually don't have them, and I've used the cork from Fulton, but I will again link you down below. But the most important part, honestly, my running ones. So my running ones, I use an insole called Treadlab. And this is a hard piece of plastic, and it's actually very thin and very lightweight. And you can buy new tops for them, but that plastic's never going to go bad. Going to cost you about $115 the first time. But with someone with high insoles, this is fantastic. And I can take it out of my daily runner and put it into the one that I would use to race with. So it's the same insole. It doesn't change the shoe type or anything else. Unlike the cork one, where you couldn't put into a pair of dress shoes afterwards because cork conforms to the shoe besides to your foot. But that's what I use, and I can feel that insole, and I just really have a great time with it. I just don't need that kind of insole for when I work as a personal trainer. So shoes, nothing rubbing on the back. I prefer Nike and the Saucony for my daily runs. I use Nikes for my regular athletic shoes. Avoid any hard cup on the back. Get an insole that works for you, and make sure you can feel your instep with that insole. That is so much on shoes. All right, let's talk about getting you out of pain. So the reason you noticed you had Haglunds or saw a podiatrist or whatever and figured that out was because you were in pain. And we got to get you out of pain before you can run successfully again. The pain is caused by inflammation around the bone of the Haglunds, hurting your Achilles tendon and all those nerves. We have to get the inflammation out. Now, I have to tell you, I'll show you at the end of this video, a guy who sent me a great little text message about doing all these things I talk about and how he got out of pain. And you can too. But don't think you're just going to get a pair of shoes and act like you normally did and go through life. It's not that way. It's the shoes, it's the insoles, it's the socks, it's the icing together. Maybe that's too much. I've heard somebody say it's too much. They just want to get surgery. Good luck with that. If Galen Rupp took a year to learn how to run again after surgery, those are us who are just competitive on the weekend kind of runners. It's not really possible for me. And I don't want to. I want to avoid all surgeries that are possible. So think about getting out of inflammation. Now, I use a company called King Brand. They do the ice packs that fold around the back of your leg. So they fold around so it gets all the Achilles and the side of your ankles iced down. It goes into a boot. It's fantastic. And it's just on your foot. Pull out of the freezer. Finish your coffee after you run. I ice every day after I run. Every day after I run. Never, ever forget that. Every day. I don't even care if I don't hurt. I ice. The other thing is, of course, to get the inflammation out and get the chronic pain out. Now, this is a very cheap, $30, I don't know, ice bath or warming bath you can buy at any CVS or Walgreens or whatever. Little massager inside, does bubbles. I do it with Epsom salts, warm heat. Now, the King Brand also makes a wonderful boot, just like this, that does warm heat, just like the ice. The warm heat I tend to do at night when I'm tired and I want to have that circulation before I go to bed. So warm heat, either from the King boot or from some kind of soaking bath, is fantastic to get in those, get the circulation going, to get rid of that inflammation. All right, so those are to get you out of pain, and you do them even when you're not in pain so the pain doesn't come back. Socks. Let's talk socks. Now, maybe you go to a running store, you go to your athletic store, cute little socks with little bridges on top and kind of puffy in the middle, or I don't know what they are. But guess what? This is not going to fit flat against your heel. If it doesn't fit flat against your heel, it's going to what? It's going to rub. You've learned something already. The rub is what you do not want in a sock. I love these socks around the house. What do I run with all the time? I'm a huge Zensah person. It's compression, compression, compression. And this is very light compression. And I pulled out a pair of socks that are probably 4 years old. So they're faded from the bottom part of compression and the top part. The graphic part still shows. But socks that are 4 years old and have no rub marks are incredible. Incredible. So I run in Zensahs every day. I work in Zensahs every day. And even when I'm doing the casual thing, like I am right now, this is a pair of Zensahs. And so what I talk about is there's no rub here, right? There's nothing gaping here at all. Most important part of your socks. This is a very light compression Zensah sock. It's still fashionable enough to wear in my casual shoes, and no one says, oh, you have athletic socks on. And it works for me. So that I don't hurt myself on a daily basis and then try to run and wonder why I hurt and blame the run. So one more time, we're going to talk about what? Warm heat to get the circulation out, either from a boot that does warm heat or a warm foot bath. Foot bath is messier. The warm boot is just a piece of cake, like the ice. Ice every time after you run so that you don't get inflammation. And of course, the socks. But why do you all follow me? KT tape or the tape from King Brand or whatever you prefer. I'll give you all those links below. You got to learn how to tape your Haglunds. Now, I have videos that are just on taping. I'm going to just show you my tape. I wear tape all day, every day. The only time I don't wear tape is if I am in a open shoe like a thong. I don't like thongs. I don't wear them very often. But around the house, I don't. Usually my tape will last me 24 hours. It'll last through a run. It'll last through a shower. It'll last through all day. So your taping has to be to you, to where your Haglunds are. Now on this foot, my Haglunds is right in the back. So I need to tape extra right there. And that's where it doubles up. You will learn how to tape the more you practice. If you put the tape too low, you may roll up a little on the edges. You don't want the tape just like your sock. You don't want it to roll up. You may need to practice. And I won't do that 10-minute video that I've done before on how I tape, because my Haglunds is different on both sides. This one's on the back of the foot. The other one's on a little bit more toward the inside. So you can take a look at that video. So one more time, socks and tape, warm heat, icing. So those things will get you out of pain and keep you out of pain on a regular basis. Now we have to go to the really hard part, guys. Form. So all the things you got to do, of course. And now we're going to talk about form. Here is me on the track showing a heel strike. That leg is coming in front of me. My heel is hitting first. It's bad form. It's going to hurt me. It's going to hurt my Haglunds. Here is me at a 5K on the track, running about a 7:30 mile. Pretty nice footfall right in the middle. My Haglunds did not hurt after this, and this was about a 23-minute 5K on the track that I did. But I like this midfoot strike, really nice. This is a young kid just learning how to run, doesn't quite know what he's doing yet. Leg comes out in front too much, and he's getting that heel strike, which is eventually going to cause him, not necessarily Haglunds, but just that's a break, and it's going to cause a lot of pain later on, shin splints, all kinds of stuff. There's 1,012 reasons to stop the heel strike. Here is him again. We're just really working on this as a new runner to make sure he can get rid of this heel strike and it won't cause him problems later. So if you heel strike, I really want you to work on it to stop that heel strike on your form. So I know this has been a lot to absorb. These are the shoes I use. I talked about earlier, of course, different insoles. You're going to need shoes that don't rub and insoles that you can feel on your instep. I run about 35, 40 miles a week, depending on what I'm training for. I'm on the USA Masters team and do pretty well. Remember, all these steps have to happen together. You can't leave one out. You got to do the form and the insoles and the taping and the icing and the heat, all of it just to make everything work with your Haglunds. This is actually a text message from a gentleman in Irvine, California. And of course, I was able to help him with his Haglunds. So again, anything questions you have, Vanessa at trainwithv.com. Happy to answer your questions and help you. Have a great day.